Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to the Sustainability Summit Weekly Series 37. I must say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, because we are from different time zone. And I know that some of us are at good evening and some of us are at the stage of good night. So welcome to a truly transformative gathering, the Sustainability Summit 37, brought to you with heart and soul and vision by none other than EduFam Training Services in collaboration with the global movement of Eco Visionaries Global Group. Now you all must be thinking that what is this group? EduFam Training Services and Eco Visionaries Global Group. So my dear friends, we believe in lifelong learning, and that's what EduFam Training Services provides. It's a trailblazing platform dedicated to shaping educators, empowering youth, and enabling leaders. With a legacy of training over 50,000 individuals globally, EduFam believes in change that begins with awareness and grows with action. We have the dynamic leaders, like we have the dynamic leadership of Dr. B. Ramanathan from Singapore, Nara Subramaniam from Malaysia. Me, myself, is a humble servant of this organization, and we have pioneered programs that merge purpose with practice. From the EduFam's vision emerged a powerful initiative, Eco Visionaries Global Group, a collective of educators, entrepreneurs, and youth bound by one mission to cultivate green mindsets. And through campaigns like the 30 Days Green Lifestyle Challenge and vibrant international summits, Eco Visionaries is not just a group, it's a global green tribe. Together, we champion all SDGs, especially SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, reminding us that sustainability isn't just an idea, it's a way of life. Now you all are most welcome to today's Sustainability Summit, that is Sustainability Summit 37. This summit is not one-time event, it's part of the Sustainability Summit weekly, a ripple of ongoing change that brings together thought leaders, community builders, and everyday heroes. Each week, this platform explores new dimensions of green living, from urban gardening to green tech, from cautious parenting to eco-leadership. And today, we continue the ripple with a wave of voices that will inspire you to take action. Ladies and gentlemen, without taking much of your time, let me introduce today's keynote speaker. Today's keynote speaker is from Singapore, and it is a deeply honor to introduce our keynote speaker, a radiant light in the world of sustainability and soulful leadership, Dr. Azeeza Jalaluddin. Dr. Azeeza is the founder of our JAHAN-E Go Global Limited Singapore, with sister organizations across Malaysia and India. With over 25 years of empowering lives in 20 countries, she is a global mentor, a cautious capitalism pioneer, and a transformational guide to purpose-driven entrepreneurship. Her unique ability to blend sustainability with soulful business strategy makes her an unmatched voice in today's global shift. Sustainability is not a project. It's a lifestyle, a leadership path, and a promise, as said by Dr. Azeeza Jalaluddin. So my dear friends, please put your hands together for the one and only Dr. Azeeza Jalaluddin. Give a big round of applause to today's keynote speaker. And along with her, we have a team of speakers. They will be introduced as if they are going to address us. Dr. H.C. Azeeza Jalaluddin, founder of our JAHAN-E Go Global Limited Singapore and group of companies, Malaysia and India. Her topic today is Inner Development Goals, Gaps, to UN's 17 SDGs. With big round of applause, we welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Azeeza Jalaluddin. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And assalamu alaikum. Peace, greetings to everyone. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. And it's wonderful to be on the call with everybody. Thank you very much to the EduFam family. It's wonderful to see your notion. And I want to say a shout out. Thank you to Nizamji for introducing us. Without his introduction, I will not be here. So today's conversation, as Dr. Halimaji said, so it's always a conversation for me. So I don't do speeches like talks. So we'd love to trigger you, or I will use the word trigger, and also engage you in having a conversation about the whole context of not just the inner development goal. I'm not sure how many of you in the room knows about the inner development goals. You want to put a yes if you know. And if you don't know, it's fine, because we're going to learn some of it, some things about it. More than that, we're going to do an assessment on how, as a conscious leader, you can actually embrace the whole journey of the inner development goals, not only in your life, but also in the work that you do. Who's excited about that? Right, let's do it. So I have a material to share with you, and we'll go through it, and then I might stop in between to just have conversations around it as well. Hold on, let me just do a sharing. Okay. So today's conversation that we're going to be talking a lot about is in the space of conscious leadership and the inner development goal. All right. So just a background. Why do I earn the right to speak about it to start with? So our organization is humble 20 years old experience in the conscious capitalism framework. And we are an impact investing community. So we do primarily in a membership community where we raise the consciousness of business leaders and give you quality connections, and also bring in innovative solutions for your business to go global, and in value-added funding. In one line, we always talk about transforming the way you do business, travel, and impact lives globally through conscious capitalism. So I want to ask, how many of you here want to transform the way you do your business? And how many of you love to travel? And how many of you want to impact more lives? So if you have your hands up, we are at the right place at the right time to be in the conversation together. And I want to highlight to you the context of conscious capitalism. That is if you are listening, you're hearing this word for the first time, please allow yourself to receive it. For the next 20 minutes or so, I would love you to engage with us with an open heart and an open mind so that we can take this forward. So can you type a 1 if you are ready to receive the next 20 minutes with an open heart and an open mind? A yes, a 1 is good. Do I get a yes and a 1 from you, or a thumbs up? All right. Thank you. So, we talk about the ability to interact and participate. And the real failure in life is a failure to participate in everywhere we go. And especially in my years of working with conscious leaders around the world, one important thing I found out is, as in this room, Dr. Halima has very graciously and very effectively gathered leaders. And if you are showing up in this room, you are a leader. And I always talk about this about leaders. We are like the heart surgeon. If you are a heart surgeon specialist, can you operate on your own heart if there is any problem?
No.
Yeah. So you will be willing to allow somebody to work on your heart, right? So this is exactly the way that leadership works. In order for us to be a conscious, committed leader, we want to be able to allow others to support us. So in this journey today, I am really committed to say that I am in the midst of conscious leaders, and I'm very happy that I'm able to share with you. For those of you on the right side of the screen, how many of you know any of these books that's written there? You can unmute yourself and share. Any of these books, you know? Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul, right? Think and Grow Rich, Tony Robbins. Have y'all heard of all these names?
Yes, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Think, Grow Rich.
Yeah. So,
these two books.
yeah, great. So if you have read any of these books and you know, you see the lady in giving the testimony for the work that we do, this is the work that has been nurturing the community globally, more than 200,000 of us in this accelerated business school. So if you are hearing this for the first time, I want you to know that these names that you see on the books and many others, including Ben & Jerry Ice Cream co-founder, Ben Cohen, or Singapore's Jenny Tay from the Hourglass, we're all from this accelerated business school. And I'm so humbled and grateful that Doria Cordova is our mentor, our partner, and also works with us in our journey together. So this is where the consciousness work that we do also kind of roots from. And I'm very glad to tell you our global vision is really about global peace through global business. That's why we are passionate about connecting people globally. And we have won some wonderful awards. The recent addition is the recognition of Company of Good that we will be receiving in July from the Singapore NVPC organization, which is a government forward SG movement. And if all of you, are very passionate about sustainability goals, we'll definitely talk about it and share more on that as well. So this is some of the events that we've done locally and globally. Probably the one of the organization in Asia to run about 1,000 online programs, just 1,000 online programs just on COVID, during COVID alone. We covered massive community leaders around the world. So you'll never see one color in the screen. In fact, every time we show up, we have at least 7 to 8 country leaders coming together. And these are not just clients, but they are partners, shareholders, and, across the world. All right. So now let's get into some conversation. How many of you have seen these evolution of the ages? So we all know, and if you do not know, welcome to the consciousness age. We are in the consciousness age. Gone are the days we talk about, physical labor, skilled labor, and intellectual capital. Right now, we are in the cultural capital. You see, during COVID, everybody fell from their head to their heart, or at least most people. So this is what we want to bring to our awareness. And what is consciousness age? How does it differ? It's all about transformation and evolution. Have you heard of the word that many businesses say they are pivoting? During COVID, this pivot came about. Honestly, it was not a pivot. It was an evolution. If they did not evolve, they would have dissolved and gone. So just because they had the tenacity to hold on to their vision and grow and evolve, that's why that whole dynamic changed for those who still survived. So in the consciousness age, we talk a lot about all these, movements and activities that adds value to humanity. I have to say that this is the journey we've been for the last 20 years. In the early stages, when I talked about DNA programming for the children, generational DNA programming for children, right? In Singapore, in 2000, and I think it was about 8, in an event, they were all looking at me. What is DNA reprogramming? It sounded some alien words to them then, but now everybody's talking about childhood trauma healings. So this is where it is that the world has come for us to come together and speak more into human behavior. So let's remind ourselves, like what Dr. Halima talked about, the sustainable development goals. If you have not looked at this, or if you are seeing this for the first time, I invite you to really go through it and see what speaks to your heart And where are you currently at in your contribution to humanity? Because today's conversation, when we talk about the seven wisdom to conscious leadership, all this will play a role in your life. So let's, as we remind ourselves, we're talking about why the SDG goals, they have defined it and said, and they have clearly said that it will not work because they have recognized that the sustainable development goals have a gap. And the gap is the inner skills and qualities needed for sustainable development. I want you to look at all these, and many of you will be excitedly thrilled that because that's exactly where you're working from, the gap that you're filling. And this is where we want to really invite you to know that there is extrinsic and intrinsic conversations. The sustainable goals were the how-tos, the kind of ways that you need to do things. So the how-tos are fantastic, strategies work, but there's this intrinsic values that we need to create within ourselves. And that is not taught. That is the transformation that we can go through. How many of you have gone to motivation talks and they get all inspired, and then when you come back home or next couple of days, you feel like you're punctured tired, it's like balloon busted, it's like all the highs are no more there. Do you relate to that? So this is where we are saying, if you have real intrinsic transformation happening after you ground, yes, you will still have the heights, you still have the, what you call high energy, but after the hype is over, you will feel a sense of clarity and power. And most of the time, if you attend events and speak to people who are really in the space of transformation, you can have that impact in your life. So that's where the inner development goals come in. It's not just about teaching communication. It is about how strong the intrinsic value of the communication comes in. It's not about teaching people how to do the walk and the talk. You know, all the public speaking is fantastic. Skills are fantastic because I started my journey as a Toastmaster, and then I was in the Business Network International as one of the regional director. In fact, the first one to win awards to go to US in 2003, right? BNI is a big name now in Asia. But back then, you know, we were kind of the pioneers building the brand. But speaking alone is not about the voice or the skills, but your heart, soul, intensity that you bring in. So just one example of that. So how deep can you go in your inner development goals? So I want you to take a screenshot if you have not taken so, because this is going to be a mantra for you to build your journey, especially if you are in the training space. So now we're going to get into some activity. And as you go through this, we want to invite you to look at the wisdom that you hold and what are the areas that you can feel more fulfilled. This conscious leadership framework, because I gave you a context of consciousness, it's a lot about the whole brain thinking, the ability to bring your left brain and your right brain, your logic mind and your heart to be aligned so that you can serve your purpose. So from that perspective, a conscious leadership is not someone who says, I am a conscious leader, but I would love to call people conscious leaders, because when we recognize them for how they are showing up, we are able to really add value to each other. And as a conscious leaders community, we actually have very clear dynamics of moving away from gossips, focusing on a lot about showing up for ourselves and the cause. We use the word cause above self, right? So when you are cause above self, nothing matters. You will be humble enough. You know, your ego kind of has its own dissolving nature, and we are able to show up to support each other. And most importantly, become a lifelong learner. So this is where the 7 wisdom framework comes in. So I would love you to look at the 7 wisdom, and we can actually play around with it. Later on, we'll be doing an assessment to see how you rank yourself or rate yourself for the 7 wisdoms. So who can tell me what is one of the 7 wisdoms? Want to make a guess? So why do I use the word wisdom, by the way? What's the difference between wisdom and intelligence?
Wisdom is a combination of intellect plus experience.
Absolutely. Beautifully said. And that's exactly where we want to drive the message to, because emotional intelligence, emotional quotients, these are fantastic ways of being, and many people are stepping into it. What we need in conscious leadership is the wisdom. The wisdom is exactly what Dr. Halima, you mentioned, is our inner ability, the real self, where we experience life and we go in there and we really make a change for ourselves. If there's any question, I'd love you to put into the chat group so I can also answer some of these questions later, and we can actually look at that effectively. And next wisdom is financial wisdom. So as we speak into the emotional wisdom, which is really about relating to each other in the way that you show up for each other and also for yourself, it's not about managing stress. It's about your ability to be in equanimity with yourself. And then when it comes to financial wisdom, it's not about the budget that you need to do or the kind of wealth you need to generate. It's not limited to that. To really understand the power of earning money, keeping money, and growing money because you have a higher purpose to serve. When I speak into conscious capitalism, sometimes and many times when it's the socially conscious people, they get triggered when we talk about money because there's always a conversation about not enough. So this is where we come in and we speak about money consciousness, your ability to relate to money and make the money the source of motivation for those who needs to be served. And then we can do a better a job for everybody. So there is the financial wisdom that we need to anchor ourselves with. And what's the next wisdom? Actually, I should use a drum roll model. So environment intelligence. And environmental intelligence is not about just the green environment conversation. I want to ask you, what's your neighbor doing? When was the last time you had a timeout with some of your friends and people around you? How about the business partners and people that you have around? Your competitors, how ahead are they of what you do? Are you able to explore those? Environmental wisdom is so powerful in us relating to people. And I always use this as an example when I talk about Singapore. We don't know what you call poverty is like. We don't know how people can unfortunately die of hunger or this thing. So we are environmentally not wise because we do not have the ability to feel into that space. So how much can we bring ourselves to be environmentally wise is a very important question. And that's why, the global warming thing is a big thing, but there's more to it. And then there's spiritual wisdom. Spiritual is not religion. Spirituality goes beyond any religion to talk about humanity as one and the ability to show up for ourselves, the integrity that we can bring in for ourselves and our oneness to the source, the creator, and it's our own journey. So what is your space when it comes to spiritual wisdom? How much are you spiritually aligned to yourself? And then we have number 5, physical wisdom. We use this a lot in this conscious leadership framework. Is used a lot in our acceleration program for our business leaders. And the worst scoring is usually physical wisdom because as business leaders, we are so caught up in everything else and we forgot about the vessel that we sit in and how much we need to take care of it and the kind of habits that we need to create. So this is also very crucial to know what is our physical wisdom and how our body operates effectively for us. And then we have the community wisdom. And community wisdom sits in every one of us, knowing that we no longer need clients in our business. We need to create communities that is aligned to our vision and our purpose in life. When we are able to create communities, we are able to work with each other. This is different from associations and chambers where people just come together for the sake of some common cause for networking, and they do not know how to work together to integrate and become one. And being Chinese educated, I see the power of the Chinese community and how they have made it a huge possibility of coming together as one to serve their ecosystem and growth. And that's why, it really inspired me at the early days of my life to work a lot with the Chinese business people, connecting them to the Indian and the Malays globally as well. So the community wisdom is very important. And you want to ask yourself, how much are you about the community? Because nowadays with TikTok, easy money, a lot of people want to stay behind cameras and just want to make money on TikTok, and they do not know how the community is functioning out there and serving the purpose. And finally, and most importantly, which I feel is is the core of our work, is potential wisdom. Have you looked at what is the potential of you? Are you living your human potential? And that wisdom itself will trigger you to wake up every day and look at what is it that you need to be doing right now, what problem you need to be solving, who you need to work with, and how best you can bring out what you are doing and live every day as if it's the last day of your life. At the same time, get inspired every day as if you're going to live for the rest of your life. So this is where the 7 wisdom framework comes in. Actually, every wisdom has a whole activity around it. And we actually do many exercises. And most importantly, we do a lot of releasing work around each of these wisdom. And I want to just tell you one thing. While you do your assessing of your level of wisdom, 0 being no wisdom, I doubt any of you will fall into that category. 10 being perfect wisdom, you feel like you are the best at it. And so go through this 7 wisdom and rank, assess yourself. You need not put into the chat box, but it is very important for you to know your score, because then you will be able to find a gap and fill it in. I just want to tell you my personal story when it comes to wisdom in the financial space. So I come from a family in Singapore. My parents come from Kanyakumari. My great-grandfather came from the Middle East, settled in Kanyakumari. So my father settled in Singapore. I was born in Singapore. And I always was thinking of myself, born in a very, no, I don't have to worry about money, right? So everything I want in my childhood, I always get it. And my father actually came to Singapore with his uncle who was building a business, and the business failed. So my father decided to go for a job. So when he went to the job and he made all this money, and we were like very comfortably living it, and he said, business is risky. Business is what?
Risky.
Risky. So what did I grow up with? Feeling business is risky. So both my elder brother and my younger sister are very comfortably employed and very happy. All right. And this Azeeza, as always, rebellious. Following the dad, they are playing safe. And Azeeza went the opposite side and took what? All the risk. And it was all this crazy risk that I took that got me into a lot of challenges. And this is where I got to understand my pattern and what was going on in my thinking. So I realized that if we have business and going through not only my personal journey, and also working with many, many business leaders and in different countries, I realized that if we have stories around money and about business, that, if you have people telling you, not only yourself, consciously, you may not feel it. You're like, have you heard of this saying, money is the root of all evil? Right? So we know consciously, I'm sure many of you know it's not the root of all evil. But at the cellular level, do you have family members who still believe in? Do you have ancestral memories of people telling you, or people in your business scene who have actually failed? And then you have that memories in you. Then that will trigger the way that you show up. Sometimes you don't want to take risk. You want to play very safe, those kind of things. So I worked on myself in the self-mastery technique to come out of those belief systems, establishing a corporate structure around my business. Right now, our shareholders are in all our companies, and we are growing it in a massive way. So I want to ask you, where are you at right now when it comes to your conscious leadership framework? I just have 1-2 slides left, and I think I'm almost done there. So there's a lot of conversations that we can have around this. So look at what is it that you have so that you can enjoy these benefits. You know, in Singapore, I'm among the Indian community. I'm known as quite aggressive in business because I really go out there and want to impact so many people's life. So I'm like, because I'm Chinese educated, we call it, you know, 厚脸皮 means thick skin. So I don't care what people think. I just focus on what needs to be done. And I have my mentors and leaders across the world supporting my work. So I just have this gung-ho um, attitude towards life. So when you go into conscious leadership, you are actually unlocking the ability to lead with purpose and scale your business for impact, or your work. It needs to scale for impact so that you can leave a legacy. So I want to highlight to you that the 7 wisdom actually gives you clarity and confidence in the way that you show up for yourself and your cause. And you have this state of equanimity, the ability to stay calm no matter what happens in life. And the fearless resilience, like the phoenix. People can come to break you, but you don't just dissolve in ashes, you regenerate and show up bigger and better. My mentors call me Putawong. In Chinese is the, you know, the doll, the roly-poly, that when you tap it, it comes up. So I'm like that. I'm a roly-poly. And so that's the ability to be resilient and have a healthy body. That's one area that I'm also working on. And financial freedom, which is crucial for us to serve our purpose. And that's an area that we need to keep growing, because your first 1 million, the first 10 million, 100 million, it is really expanding our deservability, because we want to make it happen for ourselves and our world. Loving relationship in our families, and an exponential impact that I'm so passionate about leaders taking it to the next level in this space to live our purpose-driven, fulfilling lives. So that's basically the focal point that we want to leave you with, some questions for you to ponder. And I know my time is up already. So the questions here, take a screenshot, because it's so important. And I'm happy to share this, Dr. Halima, if you want to have this shared with everybody, because it's important for us to keep asking ourselves these important questions about what problem are we solving? What is the solution that we have? Is our solution scalable and impactable? Do you have a timeline to achieve it? And most importantly, who is walking with you in this path aligned to your vision? If you get the wrong partners, you can get a very tough road sometimes in growing yourself. And this message I leave with everyone we meet, no matter where we go in the world, is the work of, the message of Buckminster Fuller, our late mentor, to ask everyone. This is all about ESG. This is all about sustainability. This is all about collaboration and co-creation. It's about asking, how do you make the world work? 100% of the time, for 100% of humanity, without any ecological damage or disadvantage to anyone, in the shortest time possible, through spontaneous cooperation. I say it last purposely because spontaneous cooperation requires us to open ourselves, open our heart, our mind, and our ability to really allow people to come together and work together beyond any kind of mind conversations and blocks that we may have in our lives. So spontaneous cooperation is seen here. Dr. Halima, congratulations on your journey. Thank you so much for listening in. We do have a free membership. If you want to register, you can go in there. We don't charge anything for anybody who wants to join our network and also learn more through our online programs and live activities as well. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you very much. And I am the first one who has already scanned and who has already gone. Thank you very much, as Dr. Azeeza. And it was really like altogether a different experience. When you were speaking, it was like the wisdom was coming from within, and I can feel the truth in each and every word, and the truth was out of the life experiences that you have gone through. Thank you very much. You live as if you are going to be here forever, and then work as if that you are going to die tomorrow. This is really a beautiful thought. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And I know that each one of us have lots of questions, lots of advices to seek from Dr. Azeeza, and we are going to give you that opportunity. But Dr. Azeeza, I believe that you have some time for us, and maybe after the presentations that we are going to have the question answer sessions. So ladies and gentlemen, please don't go away. Be here. Dr. Azeeza is going to be with us. with her all wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and with her all expertise to share with us. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.